got, yesterday I made a new, well, a few days ago I made a new lid after I broke the one that went to this. Remember, this is the one that the design issue, the lid didn't quite go with the, it just didn't seem right. So with this pot, and I wanted it to look more Asian, and so I broke the lid. Well, it happens, and it happened to me. So this is that little lid that I was thinking about putting some kind of decoration through the top part of it, or something that looks kind of like that. So I'm going to okay, so here's the deal. I made the lid, and I only had like 0.22 pounds of clay, so that's like what, I don't know, that's a lot less than what I started with on the first one. So let's see, I need to smooth that off before I forget to do it. I needed to make a new lid, and it got dry before this part. I didn't put this part. In fact, I put it on the shelf and kind of forgot about it. So I made a little curlicue thing. Now I need to attach it, and both pieces are absolutely bone dry. So I'm going to try something. There's a product called Patch-A-Tatch, and it's made by Duncan. I'm going to stick it right there. It's it says it's a specialty product, and Patch-A-Tatch is what it's called. So I'll show that on the screen right there if I can. Patch-A-Tatch. It's gooey stuff on the inside. There we go. I finally got it open. I don't use this very often. I hope it isn't dried up. Good. Okay. So it's fairly gooey. And let me see if I can find something to pull some out of there. It's kind of just gray stuff. It dries, this one that I have anyway, dries white. And so you're gonna, whatever you use this kind of thing on, you're gonna have to glaze it unless you're using white clay or something. Anyway, it's something to consider. And so I'm going to attempt to make this thing stick to the lid. So sometimes I use a paintbrush to apply the stuff. In this case, I'm going to sort of soak the parts that are going to come in contact with the lid, and I'm going to put quite a bit of water right there. I'm not going to be able to push very hard on this to make it stick, because the thing is so thin, because I had so little clay left of this color to work with. So I'm going to very carefully, if you don't scratch this up, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, because I think the Patch-A-Tatch is going to soak into it mostly. So, but you know, you make your attempt. You can make an attempt to do the scratching on this, to rough that up in the places that are going to come in contact with the lid. And then I'm just going to it's almost like putting glue on there. I'm just going to put it on the parts that are going to come in contact with the lid. So I'm going to set it right there on that little wet place, and then just try to eyeball it and get it set where I want it. Now that pretty much, it tells me that it wants to be there, because it pretty much stuck almost immediately. So something to keep in mind. work fast, right? And be prepared. So I would take, for this part that's squished out, I'm just going to take a brush and sort of smooth that away. Now, in a day or so, we'll know whether or not this, and actually after we fire it, we'll know whether this is a good thing to do. Okay, so I think I got all that. So, I mean, it feels pretty secure right now, so I'm going to just let it dry that way. And so that's putting the little curlicue on there. That one didn't touch the ground, did it? That's okay. It's kind of neat that way, I think. Okay, looks like some of those slides at the park, doesn't it? All right, hopefully I can get this one bisque fired and glazed and fired again without cracking it up. There. I have a couple of these twiggy things from some beautiful, they are lilies. Around here we call them ditch lilies because they only grow in the ditches. They're a wild flower. Not these. This is some other. No, this is one of them because it has that on there. Anyway, you can't buy the bulbs or anything. They're actually rhizomes because they travel underground and pop up in another place. It's an odd kind of thing, but on the top of the ground, it looks like an ordinary lily. And they're brilliant red-orange, and if you see people in the Midwest stops along the side of the road in about end of May, beginning of June, and you see the husband will be sitting in the car very frustrated, and the wife will be out there with a pitchfork loosening up the ground and digging these things up. So if you drive around and you see somebody that has some in the yard, in their garden, you know that they've either gotten them from a friend, but originally somebody stopped beside the road and dug up some of the rhizomes to plant. But anyway, these are the little dried part. After the flower blooms and dies, then you have these beautiful twigs, and some of them are wide. The reason people like them is because these things get almost 5 feet tall. They're just gorgeous. So, and I have some in my garden. I'll show those to you one of these days. I think they're past blooming now, but next spring when they bloom again, or if I get a little bit of cooler weather, they'll probably come back a little bit. Okay, well, I think that looks very nice on there, and when that is glazed, I think it's going to look even better. So I'm gonna be happy with that if this thing will stick. Hi everybody. Boy, sometimes you just think the universe is against you. I put that little cute curlicue on the top of this lid and broke it. Didn't break the lid, just broke the little curlicue. So I made another one here, a little different. Sometimes when it's handmade, you just you don't get the exact same thing. So this one is more like a coil, not for any particular reason, not that I think that's going to be better. It's just I came out here and I thought, oh, I've got about 20 minutes before I have to leave, or 15 minutes or something, and I thought, well, I'll just come out here and check on my stuff and see how things are going. And I picked this up to see how well the other one stuck to the lid. Not very well. I flipped it over and it landed on the floor in about 14 pieces. So this is I wouldn't show this part, except I could show you all the good stuff and the things that I did right, but sometimes it helps people that are learning to see the things that go wrong. Here's one of the pieces. And if you see the things that go wrong, you understand that other people have the same little foibles that you do, and then it makes you not feel so bad because, you know, we all make mistakes, right? So I'm going to proceed to kind of glue this to the top again with my Patch-A-Tatch, and we're gonna see if I can leave it alone long enough to get it fired. So let's see, let me put that right there. You know, it doesn't have to be like, I'm not gonna measure it to make sure it's in the middle. In fact, like I said before on the other one, if you don't get it stuck down where it's gonna stay, you might as well forget it, because and I made a couple of extra little balls. I thought that might be kind of cool to. There's a library in San Antonio, Texas, and there's some sculpture out in the I guess on the grounds near. Well, it's on the grounds of the library, but there are some big shapes, big simple shapes that are outside, and this kind of, it didn't until I started making them remind me of anything, but just I was looking for some kind of design that would work here. But then I thought, oh, I've seen this before. This is very much like the library in San Antonio. It was very, very nice, and I was taking a photography class at the university there. And let's get that just a little bit off there. And I used all those little forms as a subject matter of my of a photography project that I did. So, okay, so let's take a look here. I've just got these little balls sitting on there. This one, I'm not sure I like it on there. I think I like the two little ones. This one is smaller than that one. And I think I like those, but I'm not sure about this one. I don't know where to put it and everything. This looks a little more spontaneous than that one. So I think I'll leave it just like this. Now, one thing I didn't do and what I was trying to fix with the other one, what I was going to sit down and do when I was kind of in a hurry. So there's a lesson right there, is if you don't really have time to fix stuff, if you just come out and check the moisture content, cover things up or uncover things, but don't think. And I don't know why, but I do this every time, that I think, well, I've got time. I'll just sit down and do this. No, you don't. Somebody needs to just take my hand and take me out of the studio and say, you can do this later when you have more time. So right now there's not enough, and I don't know why. I just think I should use every minute, because I'm so grateful to have the minutes that I have on the planet and with you guys. And so, you know, I'm just trying to move on and get things prepared for the next video and that kind of thing. So I thought that I would have time to piddle with this morning, and I would have been doing all this, and it might have taken me more than it might have taken me 10 minutes or something. So what I'm doing now, I'm just kind of smoothing this out so that I don't have ridges that are going to telescope through the glaze. So when I glaze this, I'm going to pay special attention to ridges and things that might not look too good if they're just left there. So as you can see, I'm kind of spreading this out here, even where there is not anything that I'm trying to stick. I'm just trying to make this all the same level. And when this dries, this Patch-A-Tatch, I think, I'm not real sure, but I think it's basically paper clay in this little jar. Somebody just knew how to make it and do a good job and had some kind of super formula and shared it with the world through this commercial product. And it has always worked well, so I didn't, and it's not very expensive, and I don't really have to use it very often, so I didn't see any point in trying to reinvent it. I mean, you can make your own paper clay, and there are videos online, and I may make one of these days, on how to make your own paper clay. I've done that for my class when we had to use it for, you know, on a larger scale. But anyway, I'm not sure that's what this is, but I think so. Oop, there, see there, that little bugger went. I'm gonna put some stuff right there and then roll it back over there. Let's see, there's the part that I want to stick. Okay, so I should probably not be so. So when this dries, I can always take a sponge and just tidy up any little ridges that I have. Or you can take a brush that just has nothing but water on it and smooth out, just make all those little areas just fade into nothing so that you don't catch glaze on something and make it show, because what you want is kind of a smooth thing on there. Okay, so I'm going to leave this alone, I promise, and then we'll come back. We'll come back and I guess, let's see. So I guess this will get fired next, and if I just leave it just like it is, good chance it's going to stick. Now, if it doesn't stick, there is something even further that I can do, and this is something that I would do with my kids at school, because sometimes, you know, there are just things that happen, especially with kids, people that are new to clay, and I mean, everybody has to learn all the little tricks and things that you do to make things work. So say everything sticks in the bisque fire except maybe that little ball right there. I'm kind of worried about that one. So I dig around in the bottom of the kiln and I pull that little guy out. Now, is there another opportunity to make this stick? Yes, there is. When I glaze it, I can make sure that that little guy is sitting in a pretty good spot with plenty of glaze between it and the lid. Will it roll? It might, if your kiln is not level. If your kiln is level, you should be okay. It should not move.